Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is that you are tuning in. I am Elizabeth Kisser, and welcome to Sacred Fire Behind the Veil. Today is an exciting program. I have an amazing guest on today. She is so very gifted, a tarot card reader, energy healer, medium, channeler, an all-round psychic child, growing up just outside of Louisiana in a lovely little small town. She's had a passion for supporting people all of her life. She works in the medical insurance field, watching out for the little guy, making sure that what goes on is all fair and due, that no one is ever overcharged or overbilled, and no one is ever underpaid. Knowing that she was had very unique special gifts from a young age. She had been reading people's energies all of her life, even long before she understood what it was that she was doing. She has been seeing spirits all of her life. She can, as long as she can remember. She's seen spacecrafts many times, and she's very much into the spiritual world. A cat mom, a mother, a daughter, an amazing friend, and my soul sister. It is my delight and honor to welcome Tabitha to today's show. So, thank you so much, Tabitha, for joining us. And I know you have many exciting things to share. Really excited to hear about it. So, tell us a little bit about your background and your spiritual awakening.
Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for having me. I just want to say it's been a real pleasure getting to know you. Uh,
Thank you.
my background in spirituality, it's been quite the journey. It's really been a journey of life experience for me. I feel like life has been my great teacher. Um, I've, as you said in my introduction, I've always seen spirits since a very young age. But I never told anyone that I could see spirits. I was kind of afraid of what that would mean if people knew that about me. So I never
Mhm.
embraced my gifts. Um, as I got older, though, it helped me a lot, especially after going through an abusive marriage. My divorce was really the catalyst that started my spiritual awakening. And I think after I got through that divorce, it was kind of like, okay, if I can do this, I can do anything.
Mhm.
Really start coming out to my family and the people around me and the public about where I was gifted, where I am gifted.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something that you shared there, which is very deep and intimate. And I greatly appreciate your willingness to be vulnerable. As those of us that are empaths, we have such that sensitive heart. And if we don't learn how to protect our energy, physically as well as spiritually, we do tend to attract the kind of individuals that would take advantage of our good nature, and sometimes it can lead to very painful type of relationships. And it's just absolutely beautiful that your family, when you start to speak out, has supported you. And it's a great way to find out, sometimes the people that would be surprised as to who our greatest supporters are.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. Uh, so you have had unique experiences, and I love what you shared about seeing spacecrafts. And that's something that I've experienced myself. And of course, I always love comparing notes. What would you love to share around that experience?
So I've had several experiences of seeing spacecraft. It's never really happened in a way, you would think like, oh my goodness, I want to see something today and it'll just be revealed to you, but it's never really happened like that for me. It's been more of when I'm in a flow state, I would say. I write, so I will go to bodies of water like the lake here we have locally or the river, and I'll sit by there and write. And usually it happens when I'm alone. And I look up and there will be something that I've never seen before, you know? It's very I don't know what the word is for it. It's exciting, but it's also very comforting, I feel like, to know that this is not all there is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, the looking up at the heavens, knowing and wondering, well, we can't be alone. There must be more out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I was young, I had several intergalactic spacey encounters. And just a few years ago, back when I was starting to come back into myself and my giftings, I happened to be out in my front yard walking towards my house, and I look up and I see two amazing perfect strips of light slowly going rising up over the roof of my house. And I stand there and I look and I think, oh, isn't that neat? If Santa had lights on the underside of his sleigh, that's what it would look like. Here we are, the end of August, and I'm thinking, if Santa had lights under his sleigh, and then it's like, wait a minute. And then it's like, and the thoughts that come into my mind, I want to take a picture. And instantly there's that telepathic communication with those that on board there. And it was a firm, no, we will cloak. And what? So tell us more about your experience.
So there was one time that I was writing and I heard a plane go by, and I looked up to look at the plane, and as the plane passed, I saw something else in the sky. It was round and gray, and it had arms that were kind of doing like this. It almost looked like a bird's wing, but they were kind of moving backwards, if that makes sense. It's very
Okay.
thing I've ever seen before. That was one
Yeah.
experience. There was another experience that happened at night outside of my house, and I looked up and I saw like a chevron pattern of just light
Okay.
pass, I would say no more than probably about 10 feet above my head. Yeah, right above my house, right above the driveway, not even as tall as the roof of the house. And it was very that one was a little interesting because me and my ex-husband were both outside, but
Right.
he looking at his phone and he didn't see it. And I felt like that was a very personal experience that was meant for me, you know. Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah. It definitely was when I had that experience myself. It was, there was, I mean, I live in a cul-de-sac, so there's houses all around, and I'm thinking, well, if I can see this, others can see it. And I heard that telepathic communication saying, no, we veiled them. They could
Mm.
be standing right beside you, and we veil them so they cannot see. This is just for you.
Yeah.
That's how powerful is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you had any deeper, more intimate experiences with them?
They visit me in my dreams sometimes. Though I know that I get visited often. I kind of feel it, but I don't always remember it, which
Hmm.
I wish I did. Like I know that it's happened, but I don't always remember details. But I do remember one particular dream where I was standing in the driveway of the house that I was living in at the
Hmm.
time. And when I looked up at the sky was filled with spacecraft as well as of like fighter planes, like military planes.
Okay.
Of the spacecraft came down over my driveway where I was standing. It was a white, it looked like a pill. It was no bigger than probably about a bus.
Okay.
It came just above me, and they, for lack of a better term, beamed me up into it,
Awesome.
teleported into the spacecraft. And the encounter that I had was just I want to call him a guy, but I'm not sure if that's the right term to use.
Right.
But he looked very similar to us. It looked very human. Um,
Okay.
and he just told me hello and sent me back. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. And as you're sharing this, I'm getting a channeled message from them. Uh, and what they're saying is that they have the ability to transmute themselves, um, and change their shape and figure to so that to adapt so that whomever they're encountering, that they don't scare them, so it feels more friendly, more approachable and softer. uh, so when in your experience, did you ever get the feeling that this was human, or just non-human, or that they had the ability to shapeshift?
I knew that they were non-human, but they felt very familiar, you know?
Hmm.
I didn't know that they were shape-shifting though.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
information to me, but it makes sense because the visit was very comforting.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and I love this because I mean, over the years, we've heard many stories about people that have been abducted and have had unpleasant experiences. However, what many individuals aren't aware of is these are all part of soul contracts that are made prior to incarnation. And it's not that there's anything malicious being made, but while still in the soul, they make the agreement: when I come into body form, I want to help you with your civilization, and that's these things that are happening. But in the human body, the mind doesn't always remember what the spirit had agreed to, but we don't get to hear of these beautiful experiences. And I know myself personally, I'm very grateful for oh, why is the name leaving me right now, Disclosure Day,
Yeah,
for because this is opening up things for many people so that they realize, oh, I'm not alone, and that there's been many beautiful experiences. Some people have remembered their experiences, and some have not. I know when I was 8 when I had my experience, and they cloaked the majority of it and wiped it from my memory, but they weren't able to remove all of it. And so I always remembered the joy of being there and not wanting to stay on this planet afterwards.
no, tell
What,
me.
yeah, tell me about what your experience was like after.
Afterwards, I just felt really comforted. I was going through a very difficult time at the time because I was in the middle of my divorce, also in the middle of a very big spiritual awakening. I had all these gifts coming online, and it
Mhm.
was kind of like, what is happening? Like, I'm hearing things and I'm seeing things more vividly than I had before. And it felt kind of chaotic and a bit like just out of control for a little bit there. And it was
Right.
very comforting, you know,
Yeah.
especially because there was this like juxtaposition between like, oh my goodness, all these wonderful things that happened to me spiritually, mentally, but my life was like blown up. I was living with my mom, which I haven't done since I was a teenager. It was, things were everywhere in the 3D, but in the 5D, I was having this wonderful experience. And that just really brought me a lot of comfort.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible that since you're having your spiritual awakening around this same time, that maybe they were there to offer that guidance and let you know, hey, this is what you're encountering, and help the ushering of opening up to your calling?
Absolutely. Yes. I think I've been shown some of my past lives where I
Mhm.
was the same type of work, but I was sacrificed for it. And so
Mhm.
carried over a lot of that fear into this lifetime. And I didn't understand that that's where the fear was coming from. But as I got further into my spiritual awakening, I had a greater understanding of that. And I feel like they gave me confidence, right? Comfort and confidence to
Mhm.
go out and share what I know and what I'm learning even more so now as I encounter more people on the same journey as me. Um, yeah, I was gonna say something else, but it just I'm sorry.
It'll come back if it's meant to be shared. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Yeah, uh, yeah, and I just drew a blank too. I sometimes my mind pops out of the 3D into the 5D and then back and forth and this, where was I? And yeah, with what you're sharing about that, the fear factor, this has been my experience with other people that I've known in our area of I don't even want to say work, of our gifting and our sharing with others, that there's been that fear factor to begin with, and the slowly there becomes the memory of the past lives, and the because of the lack of understanding of what's going on of the spiritual giftings, it was feared. And so how did people deal with fear? Well, let's get rid of the fear factor by upping the fear factor and eliminating that, which only created a worse cycle of fear. So as we go forward in our evolution and faith and trusting that this is what we're doing, these things tend to subside, along with the memories become more of an acknowledgement of, oh yes, okay, this was part of a journey, and that makes sense as to why I had some of these fear factors now, and those tend to settle down too. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have. And that's actually what I was going to get into. I think it's such a wonderful privilege to be alive at a time where so many people are being awakened, and there's
Yes.
so many people, I've just been embraced with open arms, and it's been a wonderful experience, truly.
Yeah. Yeah. Those of us who have come into the earth at this time, there's what I've learned is there's actually been three flows of generations that have come in, chose to come during this time as light workers and educators to help the ushering into the new earth and help people with the understanding and to let them know it's okay, you don't need to be afraid, and to bring that calmness and peace to the earth as things transition. And so this has been a very powerful gift that we actually chose to step into, to be a part of. And how exciting is that?
Yes, very.
Yeah, yeah. And so have you found that this has had a significant impact in your life, in your relationships?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it has. Um, I would say definitely it's had an impact on me personally because my gifts are so much more unlocked. I feel like even though I was tapping into my gifts before, there was a lot of resistance. You
Mhm.
know, I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. And like you said, those of us who are empaths, we tend to attract, the types of people who would take advantage of us. I think that I'm I don't want to say evolved past that, but my discernment is much more refined. So I've lost friends, people who weren't good for me. And it's been a good thing losing those relationships, honestly. Not in any like malice or anything towards them. They have their own path to travel,
Yeah,
We're not on
yeah.
that path. And that's been wonderful. But also, I think just daily interactions with people, just when I come into contact with people, I have so much more of an understanding for people and where they are on their journey now. And it helps me to have compassion for them as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And something that you had mentioned about losing those connections, those friends. I like to look at it as um, our energy frequency as it raises, something happens around the people that are around us in our field. Either they notice it and they become uncomfortable. And one of two things happens. They decide to come along with us and their frequency begins to raise and we almost become like a mentor, or it's uncomfortable for them and they say, no, I can't handle this, and they start to retreat and back off. And I call that natural selection. And but still realizing, having that gratitude and appreciation for those people in our lives when they're in our life, because they were meant there for a time and a season.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely learned a lot from those relationships. And actually, what you said about people growing with you, I have some people in my life as well who have made the decision to grow with me. And that's been a very beautiful experience as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that is beautiful. Definitely. Yeah. I've been very fortunate that my son is one of the people that wanted to grow with me. And some of the people that were closest to me, friends wise, they've just gradually tapered themselves out of my life. And I've respected that. It took me a while to come to that realization that it wasn't a negative reflection upon me or upon them. It's just we're at different places,
Yeah.
which is absolutely fine. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience with your gifts or anything at all?
Um, one thing that I always tell people who come to me looking for advice, um, make sure that you're ready for the advice
Mm-hmm.
that you're gonna get because spirit is very honest. The channels that come through are very honest. And anything that's ever said from me, but I feel like also from other spiritualists as well, is never meant in a way of trying to like tear anyone down or anything like that. But there may be things that we have to look at about ourselves, right? Shadow work is always very, very important. And that's how,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I would say,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. We don't always like to look in the mirror and see what other people see.
yeah. It's not, but it's worth it, you know. It's,
Right? Yeah. Yeah. How else do we become better people unless we're willing to hear the truth and not take it personally or as criticism, but well, how can I raise to higher levels, because that just supports and helps everyone.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's so beautiful. And of course, one thing I always say, I have a large circle of friends that are telepathic, that are readers and psychics, and I always say that every psychic needs their own psychic,
yeah,
because we can't read for ourselves. Our own emotions will alter what the outcome is. And so of course, my own curiosity, I found, well, in my growing, I thought, oh, I like that deck, I like that deck. And I think I have one animal oracle. I have two tarot decks, and I think I must have at least nine other oracle decks, and I'm in the process of creating one. So how big is your collection?
girl. My collection, oh, I haven't counted. I have a lot. There's a lot. I would say I have probably at least maybe 30 tarot decks and probably about the same number of oracle decks.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
They all
Yeah.
different energies. So it's very fun and also enlightening to use different decks for different purposes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I noticed that when you're online, that you'll be working with a deck, and depending on who you're working with, you'll change decks. And of course, my the one I just love that you have is the kitty deck.
Yeah.
And I have a kitty deck myself, but it's very different, very different. Instead of swords, they have claws and teeth. And
Um, I have another kitty deck. It's the cat ninjas. They're
okay,
space ninjas and
oh
they
my
have
gosh.
lightsabers and stuff instead of swords.
Oh, that's so cute.
Uh,
Now, in my mind, I'm just going places thinking, I'm sure someone out there somewhere has created a Star Wars
yeah.
deck.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
this has
so
been absolutely beautiful, and I've really loved what you've been sharing with everyone. So, if people want to work with you, how can they find you?
you can find me on TikTok or on YouTube. My name on those platforms is Channeled Wellness 333. I also have a website where you can book with me. It's channeled wellness 333.square.site. Yeah. I
Awesome.
readings. I do collective messages on YouTube, and I do yes or no questions on TikTok Live.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's just been absolutely beautiful and always a delight to visit with you and chat with you. So, everyone, if these things have resonated with you, please share and pop in the comments, your experiences that you've had or questions that you have. And we're always happy to pass on the questions and get answers back to you. So I'm Elizabeth, your soul aligned spiritual coach, wishing you love and blessings. And thank you so much for joining us. Be
Thank
blessed.
you.
And stop.